Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Force here, and today we will be taking a look at the Mage specific set cards in Hearthstone. I also wanted to make a quick clarification before we jumped into this video. In my most recent Hearthstone video taking a look at the Murloc deck, people said they preferred that format to this one. I just want to let you know that these two series are intentionally different. The deck Spotlight series is just focused around a deck sort of regardless of hero. A general deck build, obviously the hero comes into play with some of the cards that you have, but this set, this particular series is focused on the set cards that are specific to individual heroes, and that's why the card portion takes the forefront of the video. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right in as we take a look at the Mage set of cards. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start things off by taking a look at the Mage hero power, which is Fire Blast to deal 1 damage to an enemy minion or an enemy hero. This is probably one of my favorite of the damage dealing capabilities for the heroes. You've got the Rogue who can get this weapon to deal damage. You also have the Druid who can pump up himself and deal damage. The problem with both of these is that if they deal damage to a creature, then the hero themselves takes damage. The Hunter can also do damage, but that's only to an enemy hero, so you can't use that to pick off creatures. So yeah, with the Mage, it is 1 damage, but you don't have the threat of any retaliation from any minions that you hit. So for that reason, it's one of my favorite direct damage dealing hero powers. Okay, so let's hop in here. Now we're going to take a look at the set of cards for the Mage. Basically boils down, the general Mage play style and the card set boils down to this. We've got to focus on damage, be it direct damage or area of effect damage or even random damage with the arcane missiles. And then there's the freeze mechanic that locks creatures down for a turn, or characters, and then there are secrets. Lots of secrets available to the Mage, all of them quite interesting and powerful. So let's go ahead and take this step by step, starting off with some of the direct damage capabilities here. We've got the arcane missiles, which allows you to deal 3 damage to random enemies, 1 damage each. The Ice Lance, which combines damage and the freeze mechanic, so you can freeze a character, and if the character was already frozen, you're going to get 4 damage out of this. You combine that with another freeze card, and it's 1 resource for 4 damage, which is pretty darn solid. More damage capabilities here in the Arcane Explosion. Great area damage, 1 damage to all enemy minions, especially effective against something like the Murloc deck that we recently took a look at. Over here onto page 2, we have got the Cone of Cold, which is going to freeze a minion and the minions next to it and deals 1 damage to all of them, so some damage plus freeze combination there. Frostbolt for 3 damage to a character and to freeze it. We have got, let's take a look over here, I know there's a few more. Fireball for 6 damage directly for 4 resource. Blizzard is 2 damage to all enemy minions and then it freezes them. Flame Strike for 4 damage to all enemy minions, and then finally Pyroblast for 10 damage at the cost of 8 resources. Kind of ridiculous indeed. Now that is the damage portion, both direct and area of effect. Beyond that, we talked about the freeze mechanic. Some of the freeze mechanic has been tied into these damage cards. We also have something like Frost Nova to freeze all enemy minions, and I think that there are at least a few more. That's the freeze combination. That is not a freeze. We have got the Cone of Cold, which is freeze combined with damage. The Blizzard, which is freeze. Here we go, the creature. One of the few creatures available in the Wizard set is the Water Elemental. It's a 3/6 for 4, and it will freeze any characters that it damages, whether that be a minion or a hero. They get frozen if they are damaged by the Water Elemental. We've got a few, that's not what I wanted to do. We've got a few bit of crowd control available, or just direct creature control to be more specific. Obviously the freeze is creature control. Something like Mirror Image allows you to drop creatures down to taunt. You get 2 0/1s that can taunt. That's not directly creature control, but it helps you mitigate incoming damages specifically, I guess what I was trying to say there. Then we've got, no, that's not it. What I did want to show you is the Polymorph. Transform a minion into a 1/1 sheep. Any large creatures that hit the board you don't want to deal with, for a resource, will turn them down into small, tiny, pathetic little minions. Like I said, there are only a few creatures available in this set. They are pretty interesting and relatively powerful, though. We've got the Mana Worm. For 1 resource, it's a 1/3, and then whenever you cast a spell, it gains a +1 attack. That's permanently, by the way, not just for the turn. Sorcerer's Apprentice to reduce the cost of your spells by 1. Other creatures over here, again, there aren't very many. We have got this guy right here, the Kirin Mage. It's 4-3 for 3. The battle cry makes your next secret this turn cost 0. So you can drop this in play and then automatically play a secret for free if you have one in your hand. Arcanist here, 3-3 for 4. If you control a secret at the end of your turn, this gets +2/+2. Again, there are a ton of secrets, so that's pretty cool. He's gonna get very big very fast. Let's count up the secrets. We have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 secrets here available to the mage, including things like whenever your opponent casts a spell, counter it. As soon as your hero is attacked, gain 8 armor. Ice block, I don't have any of these yet, but this is really solid. If you would take fatal damage, instead you prevent it and you become immune for the turn. Yeah, that's really, really cool. Mirror Entity, when your opponent plays a minion, summon a copy of it for 3 resource. The Spellbender, when an enemy casts a spell on a minion, summon a 1/3 as a new target. So that's gonna make it so that if he's trying to pick off your creatures, he's gonna pick off this 1/3 instead. And then Vaporize, for whenever a minion attacks your hero, destroy it. Very cool secrets there. And essentially that is it. We've got some card draw, we've got some really crazy creatures. This legendary one here, whenever you cast a spell, put a fireball spell into your hand. That is literally, you'll get one of these in your hand whenever you cast a spell. Pretty darn solid. But yeah, that's a quick overview of the cards specific to the Mage set. Let's go ahead and hop in and take a look at some of this in action.
Jaina versus Valera.
Okay, so what I have decided to build here is a secret-focused mage deck. Like, entirely focused on getting secrets in play. In fact, so much so that I'm gonna dump these cards, everything but the Secret Keeper. Because I like to get the Secret Keeper in play first and then start dumping my secrets after that. So there we go. I ended up drawing into a couple of secrets, and that's exactly what I was hoping for. So this is an interesting conceptually deck idea because my only focus was to get the mage secrets in this deck and then sort of build everything else around it, basically. And that's what we're doing. So we're gonna go ahead and start off here with the Secret Keeper.
I'll never tell.
Throw her in play, and then next turn we will drop maybe the Counterspell. I think the Counterspell will probably be the best choice. She's actually gonna skip my Secret Keeper? Really? Interesting. She should have gone for my Secret Keeper. Maybe she just doesn't know. Oh, this is perfect. Kirin Mage is what I drew into. So again, we're focused on the mage secrets here. I'm gonna pop down the Kirin Mage, which will make my next secret cost 0.
We have many secrets.
And we're gonna go with the Counterspell. There we go. And in doing so, we pump up our Secret Keeper here. The Secret Keeper is one of the few non-mage cards that I have in this deck. I also have Hogger, as you can see here. He's just too good to pass up. I was fairly light on creatures, so I figured having something that summoned creatures would be pretty solid. And he just tried to play... Let's see what he tried to play. I didn't end up catching that. He tried to play a Betrayal. An enemy minion deals its damage to minions next to it. However, I counterspelled it thanks to my secret. And we have pulled another counterspell. And I think I'm actually going to drop that down right now. Get another secret to pump her up, and it'll be a counterspell for whatever my opponent tries to play again next turn. So we'll swing at him for 7. And then we're going to pass the turn. Down to 21 now. I still have in my hand the Ice Barrier to prevent damage to me. Arcane Explosion for damage to creatures on the ground. And once I get to turn 6, Hogger will come into play. And hopefully I'll get some time to summon a few taunt creatures to just buy myself some time, basically. Alright. And he's going to try to play another spell. That will get counterspelled. This time he tried to play an Eviscerate. No luck for you, my friend. Sorry, I'm all over this. And we've got the Ice Block secret that we can play this turn. Let me think here. I want to get rid of that. I do want to play secret because, again, I want to keep pumping up my Secret Keeper. So I think this turn, that's far away from being useful. So I think this turn we're gonna pop down an Ice Barrier for the sake of pumping her up. And then I'm going to hit her, and I do need to kill this thing. So we're gonna go like that. And then we're gonna call the turn. The reason I killed that creature is ridiculous. Whenever he casts a spell, it gets +2 attack for the turn. So he would have probably cast a few spells this turn and then hit me pretty hard. So that's exactly why I went for that. 3 damage to an enemy hero, and he casted a taunt creature, which is fine by me, because we're going to kill that next turn and then swing right for him. And he's attacking me, which pops my secret and gives me 8 armor. So he's actually only going to deal... Well, I have 8 armor, so it's going to go down to 7. And now I'm basically at 32 life at this point. And we have another secret keeper that we could drop down. Plus we could play this ice block secret. So that's what I'll probably do, like this. Secret's going to pump up both of those now. Hit that for 4. Hit her for 5. Call the turn. Well, the secret deck is doing okay so far. I'm surprised, because it was literally... Return a... Okay, it's going to return my creature to my hand, which obviously drops all of its pump-up charges, unfortunately. He's going to swing right at me. Okay. And let me think here about what to do this turn. I could drop him to a 1/1. However, I don't know that that's entirely necessary. I think I'd rather just play Hogger this turn, to be honest with you. But I do want to get rid of him. So I'm going to kill him. We're going to throw Hogger down, kill him with the Tor Mage, and then swing for 2, bringing my opponent down to 10. Job's done. End of my turn, Hogger brings a 2/2 with Taunt into play. So now my opponent has to get through that before he can hit myself. The only thing he can do is he can directly target creatures with spells, but he is unable to attack them with creatures. Well, there you go, though. That is that. An example of a secret deck focusing on using specifically mage cards in Hearthstone, obviously. Alright guys, so that has been a look at the Mage set of cards here in Hearthstone. Once again, this format is intentionally different from the Deck Spotlight format. So if you prefer Deck Spotlight videos, definitely look at those. I wanted to make sure I did one video for each of the heroes, showing off the cards and showing off a deck that used a good portion of those heroes' cards. Because frankly, there's a lot of the really strong decks have a ton of neutral cards, and I just really wanted to show you kind of what each of the heroes were really all about. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned in the future for more great Hearthstone coverage here on the channel. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe. If you like the content, yeah, please subscribe. Keep watching and keep owning.